Of the newest citizens to the United States. They followed the rules and they did it legally. But what about in the future? Let's talk about what is being proposed on Capitol Hill by some of the bills, the guest worker program. To talk about that, let's welcome in Benjamin Johnson, Director of Immigration Policy of the Immigration Policy Center, and Jack Martin from the Federation for the American Immigration Reform. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let me just say in advance, as the President begins to speak, we're going to take a little pause and listen to what he has to say. He is in favor of a guest worker program, and Ben, I understand you are as well. Why?
Well, I certainly think a guest worker program is an important first step in trying to align our immigration policies with the economic realities that we have today and the labor market realities that we have today. You know, when we created these immigration laws in the 1960s, 40% of our workforce didn't have a high school diploma. Today, around 10% of our workforce doesn't have a high school diploma. So there's no question that there are fewer and fewer native-born workers who are pursuing these kinds of jobs. And the reality is that's a good thing. And we are turning to, as we have always done, an immigration system to fill gaps in our labor market. But the current system doesn't allow that to happen legally. And we've got to figure out a way for these workers to come here legally, for the workers that we need, and provide opportunities to those 10% of the workers that are here, the native-born workforce, who need training and opportunities.
All right, Jack, let's bring you in. You do agree that there has to be some reform in the immigration system, but you don't think guest worker program is the way to go.
The program that they're proposing in the Congress at the present time is a sham. They're proposing giving people who are currently in the country illegally legal work papers so they can stay 3 to 6 years. These aren't temporary jobs. These are permanent jobs. What they're looking for is simply giving these illegal workers permanent status here, taking American jobs. We have to protect the opportunities for American workers. We cannot count on having a permanent system of foreign workers who are exploited at low wages by American labor, American businesses. It's to the advantage of the businesses, but it is not to the advantage of the American taxpayer, who is having to pay for emergency medical care, education in the schools, incarceration for these foreign, supposedly temporary workers who are here permanently.
Okay, Ben, I want to go to the first point on that. Do you think that somebody who comes here for 3 to 6 years, probably in that amount of time, sets up a family, has children here, will pick up at the end of that and go home?
Some will, some won't, and that's the reason that we need an immigration system that isn't rigid and hard lined the way our current system is. I mean, clearly we need to have some people here on a temporary visa. Some people want that. Some people will return. But for those workers, those good, hard-working people who want to set up roots here, we ought to extend them an opportunity for a permanent status. They're the ones most likely to learn English, the ones most likely to buy a home, start a business. So permanent immigration is an important part of this equation. There's no question about it.
And then back to Jack, these are jobs, to quote the President, he'll probably say it today, these are jobs that Americans don't want to do.
They don't want to do it at the wages that are being offered at the present time. But the point is that those wages have decreased over time in areas where we have large numbers of low-wage foreign workers because they have driven down those wages. We should not have a permanent system that exploits foreign workers in this country. We should have an adjustment that would be possible on the basis of getting control over our borders so we don't have illegal immigrants coming into the country, and only then should we consider letting foreign workers come into our country when it's not undermining wages and working conditions for American workers.
Ben, if you send this guest worker program to people who are already here illegally, what's the message you send to the 30 people like the 30 people we just saw who followed the rules, waited, did what they're supposed to, and were just sworn in as American citizens?
Well, I think that all of the proposals that are being seriously considered right now involve significant penalties for the workers that are here in an undocumented status, moving them to the end of the line, making them pay significant fines. So it's important to send the message that legal immigration is the right way to go, but it's important to recognize at the same time that we offer very few opportunities for people to come into the United States legally every year. We offer 5,000 green cards every year to people in what we call less skilled categories. That's abysmally out of step with the realities of the labor market today.
And finally, to Jack Martin, so these people are coming. There's a market and supply thing happening anyway. If you do have a guest worker program, at least you have some kind of a registration program and you know who's here.
Well, we need to have an idea who's here, but not on the basis of giving those who are here illegally now legal status, because that sends the message abroad that we're not serious about enforcing our immigration laws, and it invites other people outside of the country to follow in the same footsteps coming illegally into our country.
Ben Johnson and Jack Martin, gentlemen, thanks for the discussion this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We're watching